What's up, guys? It's your boy Lloyd, and I just wanted to do a quick video, real quick, about my experiences with New World versus Final Fantasy XIV. And they're two different games. They're completely different styles of MMORPGs, and I think it's fair to give them a comparison, just in the sense that if you're looking for a game to play and you maybe are interested in MMORPGs and you don't know which kind would be a better fit for you and maybe your style, I think this video should hopefully help you just kind of have a basic understanding, at least, of what kind of games they are and what they try to do and appeal to, and certain people like certain things and different kinds of gameplays. So, I this is my first real video of anything like this. I usually just upload gameplay, so I thought I'd just get out there and try to do something a little bit more in depth and for you guys. And I'm a very casual kind of video game player. I've got a family and a job and stuff, so I play games that I can get benefit out of by playing a little bit at a time, maybe a couple hours a day. And I think there's a lot of people out there like that are in that same kind of boat. Not all of us have the time to really sink it, 8, 10, 12 hours, at a time into a game. Maybe on a lucky day, if I can't get to work or something. But I've got a family and a job, and there's a lot of people out there like that. And so anyway, just wanted to break this down for you. So I've got some gameplay here of some New World, and I'll play for you guys. So New World is it's a good game. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it's not a good game, because it is a good game. There's just some things about it that were a little frustrating, I think, especially for a casual player. One of the things I found frustrating was the world is awesome to go through and explore. It just felt sometimes tedious. I think mainly because the quest line is just it just seems dull and uninspired. There was just, the dialogue was just not very well thought out, kind of bland. I found myself just clicking through it just to get through it. I just didn't really care. I seemed like a lot of it just seemed like I was rat racing everybody else to just get through the game. I wanted to level up as fast as I could so I could keep up with my friends. That just, so from going to point A to point B along the quest line just felt like a chore. There's no mounts or anything. And then I see aspects where they're selling fast travel. You have to use this stuff called Azoth. You get in the game that you can't acquire through just gameplay, but they also sell it just to encourage you to buy it, because they know that the traveling and traversing the world can be tedious, and they're just trying to get you to buy into that. And that just seems kind of frustrating to me. As a casual player, I just felt myself spacing off a lot. I just would space off. I was trying to just get from point A to point B, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. And so, but at the same time, the world is so cool to go through and see. It's got great visuals. There's just a lot of aspects about the world that I like. It's very immersive. But it just felt like there was not much inspiration to go from point A to point B in the game. And so that the immersive world often did feel tedious and like a chore, like to just get from point A to point B. Another thing is combat. Now, this is a little area here. I'm facing some guys here. I was trying to do more of a paladin tank build. There was some things. I mean, the combat's good. It's action combat, and that can be enticing. There's not as many skills. You only get, I've got a sword, so I've got 3 skills for my sword and shield, and then I've got 3 skills for my life staff. I can swap between them on the fly. Sometimes I didn't feel like it didn't switch weapons very quickly, as fast as I would have liked it to. Throwing down my life staff skills did seem like it hesitated. It was a little slow. There was some desync issues with my combat. Little things like this, but overall, it's not bad. It's not bad. And for an MMO to have action combat is quite an undertaking. There's just it's a lot of characters on screen at certain sometimes there can be a lot of characters on screen, especially during the wars and stuff, the 50 versus 50 players wars. Oftentimes the AI was very repetitive. They would do the same moves over and over. That you can oftentimes get to where you just know exactly what they're going to do. But overall, the combat was okay. I think it could be a little bit better, and I'm sure that they will get it better before launch. Another thing about New World is like I say, just leveling up. It as a new player in the early game, it just felt like I was just trying. All I cared about was leveling up. I wasn't really enjoying my time. I played during the beta. I probably played for about 20 hours. And I've also played for about 20 hours of Final Fantasy XIV, which we will also, I'll get to that next. But in my 20 hours, I find myself just, I got frustrated with just feeling like I wasn't keeping up with my friends and leveling because I didn't feel like the enjoyable part of the game was going to be until I could get to level 50 and start doing some of the level 50 content and more of the end game content. That just seemed like it was just something that I was just trying to reach as fast as possible, and that time to get there it just seemed like it was just kind of like, ugh, when am I going to get to the good part? It almost felt like. But this isn't necessarily mean. This is just my experience. Not everybody's going to experience it this way. There are other things that I liked about the game. The crafting is awesome. I could probably just go out and gather and craft in this game. If I was part of a guild or something, I could just gather and craft and make things, and that contribute that part to the guild. That would be something I would enjoy. It's not that I don't enjoy the combat. I don't enjoy PvP combat. I do like those aspects of MMOs. But in this game, it just felt like none of it really mattered or was going to be any fun until I was level 50. And it just got to be a little discouraging. I felt like I was just grinding. And now I know MMOs are a grind, and I get that, and that's fine. But the grind just felt like it was uninspired, and it was almost like it was encouraged. I feel like at some point they're going to sell boosts. If they're going to encourage fast travel, by selling fast travel in-game Azoth, just to fast travel because they know it's tedious. If they're going to make the grind tedious, they feel like they're doing that on purpose as a game design to encourage people to buy boosts. And so, if you want to just buy boosts, especially for the casual player, that really can't sink in that time. I mean, there's people who can get to level 50 in 5 days, or a week, just playing every day, all day. And, but there's just a lot of us that can't do that. And so, I would say between Final Fantasy and New World, it seemed like I leveled up about a level an hour. Not quite like that, but I was probably, I can't remember if I got to 22 or level 22. Let's see, I'm level 17 in this clip. I probably got to like a little over level 20, 22, 23 in about 20 hours. Just taking my time trying to enjoy the game, enjoy every little thing. I wasn't trying to rat race and rush, but it definitely ended up feeling that way in order to just enjoy the game. So, that's just my take on New World. I think it can get better. I know they've added some PvE content, and they're going to be planning on adding more PvE content. Hopefully that will help. A lot of that PvE content, you didn't feel like it was going to be, I think level 30, you could do your first dungeon with your friends. And so that's not bad. That I can understand that. You get to the, what do they say, get to the good part, right? But, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully they don't do a lot of microtransactions or anything. Some of the aspects in the game design does feel like it is encouraging you to buy out of convenience. There is certain aspects that I definitely feel, like I say, the fast travel. Rested XP is another one. It just feels like it's trying to encourage you and make things more convenient and encourage you to buy. Put more money into the game. It's not a sub game. There's no subscription. It's just a buy to play, and then you've got, like I say, there are certain aspects to the game design that I do feel like are encouraging you to put more money into it, especially for casual players. So that's just my take on it. Now we can start talking about a little bit with my experience with Final Fantasy XIV. Now, Final Fantasy XIV is definitely a different kind of game. For me, it's been a very fun game. I have enjoyed it tremendously. It's one of those games where you can just sit down for a couple hours, especially for an MMO, and you can really enjoy your time with it. Like every little moment. Just going through the quest line is a blast. I read all the dialogue. I'm not just clicking through the dialogue. I don't feel like I'm rushing to keep up with anybody. I often find myself, I'm around other players. You can interact with other players. You don't have to. As opposed to New World, I feel like a lot of the content is built around other players, and that's fine because that's more of a, I would say, MMO in the sense of massive, as to where a lot of the content is built around those massive PvP and PvE content and scaled that way to have a lot of characters on screen at once, so it's a huge open world. Whereas to Final Fantasy is more of a instanced dungeon kind of game, and you can go through it pretty much solo. You play through it like it's a single player game. But you have the option to play with other players. And when you get to this dungeon, like I'm about to go through on here, I'm going through Tamtara, Deepcroft, and you queue in and you just you can form a party, and there is a little bit of a wait time usually. I've never seen it over 15 minutes, so that's not too crazy. And then you form a party, you go in, you go through, and everybody's got you've got your tank, you've got your healer, you've got your DPS. And then everybody does their roles. You can commend other players for doing a good job. That's really cool aspect of the game is like, it's just, you don't have to be here at this time ready to go. It's not like there's going to be there's a war, and it's, in New World I found myself, there's a war scheduled at this time, and it's like, oh man, I work that day, I will be at work at that time. I won't be able to participate, even though I'd love to. It just... And once it's there, it's gone, and then you have to, maybe I'll catch the next one kind of thing. But, with Final Fantasy, it's always going to be there. The dungeon's always going to be there. You can go up there at any time. You can be any level. I found myself going through dungeons with people leveled way past me. It just syncs their level to the kind of dungeon that you're going through, and so it'll level sync them. It's just an auto group. This is what this is. It just auto groups you with people that are just random people. And if you want to, you can play with your friends. If you play with your friends, you can play on the same data center, and the data center will have multiple servers, and so you can play with your friends. You can go through and just enjoy the game solo or with some friends, almost like in a co-op kind of fashion. Often these low-level dungeons that I'm going through, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go through with 4 people. I think there's up to 8. I think there's dungeons that will support 8 people. So this is just something that I find that it's enjoyable because if something comes up, if I miss it, if I'm at work or whatever, it's not that big of a deal. It's always going to be there, and I can go through and I can enjoy it at my time, at my pace, when it's most convenient for me. Another thing I really like about Final Fantasy is that it's just, I enjoy the journey. And so I feel like there is going to be great content when I get leveled up, and and I noticed that as I go through the MSQ and the main story quest line, I level up. Each quest is intriguing. The story is amazing. The dialogue is good. A lot of it, I would say, it's the only thing that is a little annoying is that most of it is not there's no voice acting, and so that does get a little tedious to read it, but it really isn't that bad because it's worth reading. I mean, every word's worth reading, so that makes it, that helps. That makes it worth it. It's kind of like reading a good anime. I mean, a subbed anime. If it's good, it's worth reading. That that is one thing that I just really enjoy about this game is the story and the quest line. And I feel like with each quest, you level up, you get better gear, and it just keeps you going. You just want to keep going. You want to do the next one. You learn your skills. It's the progression in the game is very well paced. It does start off a little slow. Final Fantasy, I'd say the combat probably is the worst. It starts out a little slow, and it just gets to where at first you're kind of like, meh, okay. You've only got a couple skills. There's timers. Of course, there's the cooldown timers for them. With your hotbar. But as you progress and you get more skills and stuff, it definitely becomes more in depth. You've got to learn a rotation. You've got to do you can't just do fire, over and over and over, because it will drain your mana. And so you've got to alternate a little bit. You got to do a little bit of Blizzard so you can keep your mana levels up. It's just little things like that it definitely picks up and gets a little more in depth. You've got to move around. You've got to avoid enemy attacks, and they'll lay down the little space on the ground where you got to get out of the area. So those things like that definitely helps get it more in depth. I'd say about level 15 it really starts to get more in depth when you start going through the hero training. It's just a game that I've like I said, I've put about 20 hours into both games. This game is definitely different than New World, but it's enjoyable, especially if you're a casual kind of video game player and you just have a little bit of time here and there to play games, and you want to enjoy every minute that you can get out of the games. And it's not to say I didn't enjoy New World, but I felt like the best part of New World was going to be end game, and that the game was almost designed in a way to achieve that. And so with Final Fantasy, it definitely is almost the other way around, or at least the early game is definitely more enjoyable for a casual player to go through and not feel like they're having a rat race or keep up with everybody else, and that overpowered people are going to dominate you in PvP and stuff like that. That's not how I felt at all. I felt like I could just enjoy my time leisurely, get through the game, learn the combat, learn the little ins and outs, and just get to where I just really enjoy playing the game, and I look forward to it. Oftentimes with New World, I found myself just, if my friends were on, I'll play. If not, no big deal. But yeah, that's just my take on it. Real quick, I can show you guys. I wrote a review. I don't write a lot of Steam reviews, and so I wrote this review, and I thought that I was zooming in for you guys here. I thought we'd read it real quick as a little outro here. It's an MMO that you can play solo at your own pace without rat racing to level up with everybody else just to get to the good part. This is a working man's MMO, the kind of MMO you can play for a few hours a day or even a few hours a week and enjoy. The story is amazing. Combat starts a little slow but gets very in-depth around level 15. The best part about this game is the fact that it is an MMO, so if you want to play with your friends, you can go through instance dungeons without the obligation of be here at this time ready to go, then you can. I can see why this game blew up in popularity. It wasn't because of Asmongold or the Blizzard lawsuit, although that definitely did contribute to it, but it's not all of it for sure. That's just a very small sliver of it. He's definitely promoted it. People just left Blizzard and left WoW in droves, and so this was another game that was there. But the reason that they're coming here and keep continuing to come here is because this is a good game. It's a game for everyone. The community is amazing for the most part. There's definitely some people who are going to grievance you. And I've been seeing some videos lately that there's a little bit of a weird underground, let's just say, to this game. So, but that is what it is. It's an MMO. You're going to run into those kind of people. The There's never been a more in-depth and appealing MMO for the casual crowd than this MMO. Square Enix nailed it with this one. Play it, you won't regret it. You can play 75% of the game for free, and if you enjoy a Realm Reborn and Heavensward, then you can sub and buy the other expansions, and I know I will be. I work 40 hours a week and have a family as well. It's worth every single penny. And that is so true. Like I say with New World, as far as the monetization goes, I don't know. Like I say, they've already got a cosmetic shop. There's the game design with the fast travel. They're already selling fast travel as out of convenience, and rested XP out of convenience. So those are something that is a little bit concerning, but you know, it is what it is. Now, if you buy Final Fantasy on Steam, I think I had to sub right away, but I actually don't mind it because I love the game. I love playing the game. I'm just going to continue my sub and can keep leveling up. But I'm pretty sure you can buy Final Fantasy and play, I think, through the Final Fantasy website, through Square Enix maybe. Make an account through them. I think you can play like all the way through level 60, through Heavensward, for free. Like, it's like literally 75% of the game for free. Now, there are a couple more expansions after that you will have to buy and continue your subscription or start a subscription for to keep playing. But you can play so much of this game for free. Like, at least try it out and see if you like it. It's definitely worth it. And if you're more of a casual player like me, I think that it's something that's going to be of value for you, that you can sit down and enjoy for a few hours a day, a few hours a week, and enjoy immensely. So thanks, guys, for watching. I kind of rambled. I probably didn't make a whole lot of sense the entire time. I know I definitely stuttered a little bit, but I hope that we can keep doing videos like this, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.